Hey everybody, welcome back to Susan Lynn Psychic Medium. Thank you for joining me here. Sorry for the crazy light. It is literally 7 a.m. in the morning right now. I am drinking my coffee. So I'm going to get through this video. But I wanted to come on because I know my last video really talked about the big picture, and it talked about basically, in my view, everybody singing Kumbaya and trying to heal and welcome back these people that have been co-opted and brainwashed, right? And I know we talked about vaccines and things like that. Okay, now today, Susan, I feel like I strongly want the guides to tell me and tell you about what's going on with the Senate trial. I did a video yesterday that I didn't post because after I did the video, they added a lot more information that I wasn't able to bring into my consciousness during the video. So that happens sometimes. I do a whole video and then they bring in more information later that I'm able to sort of accept and, bring into my consciousness. So they did that and it changed a lot of things. Not it didn't change the baseline, the feeling of what's happening, but it changed some of the information. So I'm going to go into that. And let me just tell you guys, this is some big stuff going on right now. Again, I apologize for the lighting, but you know what? It's sun's coming out. It's going to be doing crazy things while I'm doing this video. Listen, this is big stuff for real. And we're going to come back to this space because it's developing, okay? But I think it's important for all of us to know what's going on. And I think you probably have gotten some of these things from maybe some various news sources, okay? But what the guides want to do, what I'm asking the guides to do, is to bring it together in more of a cohesive picture so that we can know what's likely to happen, to know what the energy suggests that's likely to happen. And then we can put our energy on that as well and help move that along. Okay, because I don't want us to be stuck in this energy pattern of, no, the Democrats are never going to do anything. Nothing's ever going to get done. They never stand up for themselves. It's all a big waste of time. I don't want us to get stuck in that energy because that's not the case. And if our energy is going wackadoodle some other direction, we're not helping the situation. So let's all of us get behind this and push. What the hell just happened to my... Oh my God. Hello. Yes, I'm here. Hi. What was that all about? Okay, I got to tell you guys, I have had some crazy spiritual things lately. Clearly. So I'm going to go back on that tangent that I was talking about. And hopefully, maybe the camera's not awake yet. Maybe it needs some coffee. So I want to talk about it because here's the thing. I want our energy to get behind the Democrats. I want our energy to be focused, really focused, so that we can help push this along. Right now, what I understand is happening is that Mitch McConnell is blocking Merrick Garland's nomination to the AG. And he can do this. So it turns out that the Senate is not switched over to the Democrats yet. I mean, I'm sorry, sit down, because I need to repeat that. Even though we won a very slight majority of the Senate, it has not switched over to the Democrats yet. Because when it's 50-50, it takes both sides to vote to make that rearrangement, to agree on the new rules, as it were, right? And so they won't vote. The Republicans won't vote. So basically, they're holding us hostage. They're holding America hostage. America spoke. We voted, So they are not letting us do what we need to do. That's first problem. Second problem, Biden doesn't have an AG. We're about to do a Senate trial on the previous president, and we don't have an AG. Okay, so you can see what's happening here. I need to say something else that I learned that was pretty mind-blowing for me. Maybe you already know. However, I learned that Merrick Garland was the prosecutor for the Timothy McVeigh Oklahoma City bombing case. That's interesting, isn't it? Now, Merrick Garland is not a Democrat. He's very central. He's very centrist. He's gotten approval from the Republicans. It's not like we put, Hillary Clinton in the AG spot. And that brings me to the next thing is we could play hardball and do what Trump did. And okay, I'll just appoint people, which will be temporary, and they don't need approval. So really, Biden could appoint Hillary Clinton as AG. Now, wouldn't that cause some upheaval? Wouldn't that cause a very quick confirmation of Merrick Garland? I think that's where we're headed. So this is what the guides want to talk about, because it really is important, actually. This isn't just gamesmanship. It's not just a bluff. None of this is a bluff. This is really, really a fight, a real fight for democracy. I mean, it really is, because this is what I'm getting ready to tell you. Here's the thing. Mitch McConnell has said on Fox News that he doesn't think we need to call witnesses, that this just all needs to go away, that Trump is no longer president. There's no constitutional precedent to do this. We just need to move on. And then when he was pressed about that a little bit, surprisingly for Fox News, he said, look, if they call one witness, we're going to have to call the FBI, and we're going to have to get the FBI in here. Okay, so what does that say? What does that say to you, right? It says to me that that's a threat. And it says to me that he feels like he has some information that the Democrats are not going to want to have out there, right? Like if you call a witness, well, I'll do this and you won't like it. Okay, so now why would calling the FBI be a problem? Who would be worried about having the FBI come in and give testimony during this trial? So, this is the problem. I really shouldn't laugh, because this is like really heavy. So they just put this heaviness on me. The problem is that this trial, if we do this, if the Democrats do this, and the energy suggests that they're going to do this, the energy suggests that Chuck Schumer is going to do this. He's going to play hardball. If we play hardball, what is at stake is that we may find out, we Americans may find out, and will likely find out, that our president was a Russian asset. Now, big surprise, right? Everybody's like, big surprise. But, you and I pay attention to politics. That's why you're on this channel. That's why I'm talking to you. But there's a whole lot of other people that don't pay attention to politics that this would be news to. And I'm here to tell you it's a really big segment of the population. Okay? And even if you pay attention to news, the fact of the FBI presenting actual evidence, actual phone calls, actual, recorded visual information evidence is going to hit you on a different level than reading it on Rachel Maddow. It's going to be different. Okay. So there's that. They're going to present evidence that Trump is indeed a Russian asset, and also Trump's attorneys, Trump's kids. It goes deep. It goes really deep. But they will also, this is the Republicans. They're threatening to do what I'm calling the nuclear option. And I know they have a different meaning for that in the House and the Senate, but this is truly the real nuclear option right here. And that is that if the Republicans, and I don't think they have the balls to do this, but if the Republicans did this, they would actually prove that there is and was Russian assets in the FBI, Russian assets in the CIA, Russian assets in the House of Representatives, Russian assets in the Senate. Now, let me ask you a question, and I hope you're not watching this at 9 a.m. in the morning, because you might spit your coffee out at this point. But the question is, how absolutely disorienting will that be for you? as a citizen of the United States? How disorienting will that be for our partners worldwide? I'm here to tell you that a good portion of our acting government, even if it's only, say, 3%, are Russian assets. But I think it's more like 8%. That is mind-blowing, you guys. That's a big deal. Okay, so we can do this one of two ways. We can kind of throw a few of these people out. I mean, theoretically speaking, Trump is out, right? We can throw a few of these people out on the down low. You know what I mean? And several people have mysteriously resigned. I don't know if you saw that. Even in the last year, many Republicans have resigned. So we can do this that way, or we can do this way. We can go before the American people and we can have a hardball court where the truth comes out. A lot of the truth comes out. I don't think all of the truth ever comes out, but I think a lot of the truth is going to come out. And that, folks, is what's happening. That's what's at stake. That's what's happening between Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell. That's what's happening. Now, let me tell you a thing or two about the energy of Chuck Schumer. I have never been a huge fan of his. I've always thought that even if he came into politics as an altruistic, genuinely interested, whatever person, I think politics just bends you to its will. I think they give you money and you need money and it's a necessary evil. And then before you know it, you've been in so long that you've already done things that maybe you didn't want to do. And this is just what I think about Chuck Schumer. Some of his, obviously he's popular in New York. He's popular with many of his constituents, and that's great. I just never saw him as a firebrand like maybe Bernie Sanders. Okay. But here's what I want to tell you about Chuck Schumer. And honestly, the same thing goes for Nancy Pelosi. Everything I'm telling you about Chuck goes for Nancy. And here's the thing. These two career politicians are now going to be out. They're going to leave after their term. They're going to be out. They're going to leave. So here we are, folks, in a historic moment. One of the most historic moments in the history of the United States. And I mean, seriously and truly, like up there with the Revolution and the Civil War. It's that historic. It's bigger than all of the other milestones that you would think were historic, okay? Chuck Schumer is not going, he understands that he is the figure in the history book that will be written about this time. So does Nancy. They realize this. Okay, so they're not running again. They got that's out. They don't need that money. That's out. There's finally nobody controlling them. And the only thing they have to be concerned about is how history, their great-grandchildren, will look at them. What's their legacy? So if you look at it in this light, all of a sudden you see that these people have nothing to lose. And actually can do what's right for the Constitution, for our democracy, our republic, and for the American people. So what is setting up? Because when I look at the energy of Chuck Schumer, I've said this before, gloves are off. It's bare fist. It's bare fist. They're not going to capitulate. They're not going to compromise. You're going to see a whole different side of these Democrats that you've never seen. So what we have right now, and it's the, it's the 3rd of February. What we have right now, so the Senate trial is 5 days out, roughly. What we have right now is a standoff. Each person has a loaded gun and they're pointing it at the other person. And what is going to happen? Who's going to blink? Who's going to blink in that standoff? That's a good question. The energy that I feel is the Democrats don't give a damn. They don't give a damn. Go ahead and threaten us. Go ahead and do whatever. Don't nominate Merrick Garland. Throw your little hissy fit. Do whatever you're going to do, because we are going to take this opportunity and we're going to annihilate the Republican Party. We're going to drag you through mud so deep you won't even see the light of day. You will be under the mud. That's the energy I get from Chuck Schumer. I feel like a boxer. When I'm in his energy, I feel like I'm ready to fight. That's what I feel like. I am ready to fight. Now, it's very possible that to keep America, listen, because this is the thing, right? If this happens, if we all see that a big portion of our acting government are 3 separate judiciaries. Now, they didn't talk about Supreme Court. I think they're going to name somebody in the Supreme Court. The guides just said there's somebody in the Supreme Court. It could be, yes. I just heard Kavanaugh. Now, what this means, let's say, what does it mean if he's a Russian asset, or if he just got money from Russia? Or if he got money from Joe Smith, who got money from Russia? Does that make him an asset? In my opinion, yes, it makes him an asset. I pay to play. I'm a country. Here's some money. I own me a Supreme Court justice, right? This is what Russia has been doing. This is why Biden is going to come down on Russia like nothing we've ever seen. Okay, now, if we didn't have this C-19 ravaging us and our economy cratering, Biden would have already been all over this, but he's got, the house is on fire, right? He's assigned, the Democrats to deal with this. He's going to give them his blessing. I've said this before. I remember the words. I feel like I have, whatever that is when you, anyway, he's given them their blessing and they are going to do what they need to do. And I really, really think that they're going to, for once, hold them to account. Simple, basic law and order account. So as we go forward, what you should watch for in the next 4 days is who is blinking and who is not blinking. But you're going to see the rhetoric get stronger and higher and more intense. You're going to see that for sure. And I got to tell you, when I go into Schumer's energy, I just don't see him blinking. So let's see what happens. Let's watch this space. But what I think is going to happen, what the guides suggest is most likely to happen, is that the Democrats are going to take this trial seriously, and they don't care how long it lasts. That's the other thing Mitch says. You don't want this to last forever. We've got other things to do. Well, you know what? Biden is taking care of what he needs to take care of. And we're going to be taking care of what we need to be taking care of. So don't worry about that. We got this. Okay? And oh my God, there was something else I was going to tell you that came right into my brain. This is why it's so hard to do this, because while I'm talking, they drop things in, and I'm just not that good of a multitasker. Really not. But maybe I'll just end this here. And I'm going to do another video I want you guys to watch, because it's really important, where Biden, because the next video is focused on Biden. What is he doing? So what he's doing is going to be using the War Powers Act to get the vaccines made here in America, just like World War II, when they took over factories and they made tires for the bombers and the tanks and whatever. That's what we're going to be doing. We have to do what we have to do. So we're up to the task. So I want to end this with, I want to connect this back to the last video, which was about singing Kumbaya and taking care of our fellow people when they fall out of the tree, of the cuckoo tree, and onto the ground with their head hurting. This is going to cause some of that to happen. This unveiling, this ripping off of the bandages over our eyes is going to cause some of that to happen. So it makes sense that they would talk about being there for those people, and then do the next video is about how, really it's more of a fighting. It's more of about fighting for justice and exposing evil, exposing these Russian assets, right? So that when that happens, these people will need to be cared for. So it makes sense. Like at first I was like, this doesn't make any sense. One minute you're telling me hold hands and sing kumbaya, and the next minute you're like, take the gloves off and get and let's rumble. It didn't make any sense to me. So it makes sense now in the sense that those people we're going to need, those family members, some of your family members might actually start waking up and seeing what has been happening to them or what happened to them. So with that, I want to send you love and light and blessings wherever you are in the world. I'm sending you much love and light. Okay, you guys take care. If you would like to join us in this community, please subscribe. You can make your subscriptions private. There is a way to do that, so nobody has to know that you're watching a crazy psychic from Texas. I totally get it. So there is that option. And then I want to take this opportunity also to tell YouTube this was for entertainment purposes only, just like Fox News, only more psychic. You guys take care, and look, we'll be in touch soon. It's going to be a wild week, not to borrow something from Trump, but it's going to come back on him, and he deserves it. Take care, everybody.